strong battle back and forth. It's gone back and forth all night long. One thing Payson's been able to do that I like so far is they have shown that they can control the line of scrimmage when they need to. They need to reestablish that right away on defense because they're going to be kicking off the Blue Ridge. Payson's defensive line has to get some pressure on Nate Jackson. You can't allow him to stand back there and pick guys up at his leisure because he does have a good enough arm, as he's shown in the first half, to pick you apart because his receivers are good receivers. They settle down in the zone. Our zone coverage has had some holes in it. We haven't had people so far out of position as we've had situations where we're asking one guy to cover two in a zone. That way he's got to be open.
We knew that Nate Jackson was a great decision maker. We knew he could do a lot of things. He fields punts, kickoffs, he runs the option well, he throws the ball. He's a threat, but this kid has flat out made a believer out of me tonight. He has spread the field. He has found a man wherever he is, and the ball has been on the money, and he has absolutely at times chewed up the secondary of the Horns. What's the key as we kick off in the second half?
Well, I think the key for Payson is if they do get a return going, that we keep them inside the 30-yard line. And if they can do that, Blue Ridge doesn't have as good a field position. Ideally, Barnhart should kick this into the end zone. They start at the 20, and then Payson's defense has to take control. They have to get Nate Jackson in that second and long situation where we know he's going to roll out and throw, and we've got to put our ears back and go after him, put some pressure on him, and force him to make some mistakes. Because when you give him 5 and 6 seconds to roll out and throw, he's not made any mistakes tonight. So we've got to get after him. We've got to use some speed on the defensive line. We need to send some linebackers after him.
You talk so often about the bend but don't break philosophy of Coach Willis's defense. It's also a defense that teaches their defensive linemen to go to the heels of the offensive linemen, and that way they eliminate the cutbacks, the counters, the things that are so devastating when you have a quick back like Robert David. How are you going to do that and continue to try to put more pressure on Nate Jackson?
Well, I think that's what adjustments are all about. I think you go in and you tell your linemen, now guys, look, when it's second and long, when it's third and long, pin your ears back, find Nate Jackson and get him. And you have to do that. This is a state championship game. You can't play conservative anymore. Right now, we haven't been able to contain Nate Jackson, and he's had that kind of freedom to run, roll out left, roll out right. He had one straight drop back, and we did put some pressure on him, and he was not successful on that pass. So they're going to roll him out all night long, and they're going to count on Josh Clough and those other good receivers to get open for him. We need to get after him. Right now, Robert David has not had a big game as a running back. And we need to get the ball back in his hands and force them to try to run against us. Well, we need to turn them over. We need to intercept a pass from Nate Jackson.
In spite of the fact that Robert David had the one touchdown here in the south end zone, he had the two-point conversion. As you say, he has not been the dominant threat of this offense. It has been the ability of Nate Jackson to read the defense, find protection, get the ball wherever there was an open man, and I'll tell you, he's done that well. As we get ready to kick off in the second half, Blue Ridge is going to defend the north goal. They will be receiving the kickoff, and as we say, Pat, the key right now, I think, to this ball game is Payson's ability to keep Blue Ridge from scoring on this drive. They got to stop them. They did a good job of that the last 2 weeks. They've been vulnerable. For 4 games prior to that, they had given up long drives to kick off the third quarter. Right now, they got to step up, stop the Jackets, take the ball.
Well, you know, there's a representative of the Associated Press here tonight standing behind us, Denny, and he's here covering this game because, A, it's a state championship game, but because of Blue Ridge's winning streak. And what better way for Payson to gain national prominence than to end this losing streak? And instead of this article being all about Blue Ridge, it becomes all about Payson.
Well, you know, we've seen Jackson throw. We've seen number 12, Hunter Walden, throw. Walden has been equally as effective, short of one pick, on that play at midfield. He has put the ball where the receivers have been. Payson receivers have caught the ball. We may need to see him open it up a little more to see if he can counter. But Payson's got to control line of scrimmage. They've got to get some time off the clock. They've got to keep the ball away from Blue Ridge. So let's see how we're going to do this. We kick off this second half. If you've joined us late, welcome to the Channel 6 TV program. The ball's taken on the 5-yard line. Comes upfield. He's hit, knocked down across the 25 to about the 28, where Jackson and the Jackets will take over 1st and 10.
Well, so far, one of the things we asked for has come true, that the return from the Blue Ridge is kept inside the 30-yard line, and that 30 is a magical number in high school football. That's being a place where if you can get the ball out to the 30 or beyond, you consider yourself in good field position. So they're inside the 30.
We got Cade Bradley back in at defensive end for the Horns on one side, Craig McClanahan the other defensive end, Timmy Bunnings in at the corner. Jackson puts a man in motion, hands off inside, he's hit, knocked down, and it looks like what we got here is we got a defensive end, Kean, on number 15 Jackson. McClanahan hit him, picked him up, so I didn't have the ball, let him go. So a little gain on the play, going to bring up a 2nd and 8.
Well, at that time, once again, they test Payson's left side with that run, and they come up into 2nd and long, and in the first half, 2nd and long was a passing down for them with Nate Jackson rolling either right or left.
So we got trips right. Jackson takes a long count, rolls right, wants to throw. He's got some pressure, throws out here, intended for 41, but that time he's under some pressure. Number 24, Eric Hilgendorf, number 58, Blair River, putting some heat on Jackson.
And you know what I like to see at the end of that play? Not only was that a good hit by Eric Hilgendorf on Nate Jackson, but at the end of the play, Eric stood over him, reached out his hand, helped Nate up, gave him a pat on the shoulders, and Eric went back to his huddle. Who says sportsmanship is dead in 3A football?
And I want you to find, as we look at the 3rd and long, again, a key play for the Horn defense. Look for 85. We'll talk about that. Jackson puts his man in motion right. Little counter back inside. He's hit and stopped. And I'll tell you what, number 53, Jimbo Armstrong, number 1, Ryan River on the play, and that's exactly what we asked for. It was 3 and out. That's the 3rd game in a row the Horns have done it. They have come back and scored on those 3 drives.
Well, it was really key for Payson because I watched them come out after the half, and they hadn't lost all their enthusiasm. They didn't seem as excited as before the game. Now I see the sidelines. Everybody's jumping. Everybody's up watching what's going on.
Robert David to punt. It's off. It's a low kick. It's going to be fielded by number 12, Walden, who cuts back up, fields the ball, wrapped up, but good field position on our own 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Horns. If you've joined us late, I want to welcome you again to the Channel 6 TV Game of the Week. Live tonight, audio in Payson, to be seen tomorrow night, Sunday night, 6 o'clock, Channel 6. Thank you, Larry Sheehan, for bringing this broadcast to all the fans in Payson.
Right now we've got Jeremy Hoff coming out and Brian Cork going in. Payson's going to have to hustle to get this play off. They kind of sent it in a little late to Hunter Walden.
Well, Walden's got his backs in the eye. Got 2 men wide right, hand off tailback Bunning, who's hit behind the line of scrimmage, accelerates, wrapped up after about a 5-yard carry. Good visibility by the junior tailback.
That time he broke a log jam at the line of scrimmage and just darted forward for that 6-yard gain. And one thing that I like to see on that is he's forcing the safeties and the corners from Blue Ridge to make that tackle instead of having linebackers and linemen involved in it.
2nd and a short 5. Walden on the pitch to Bunning. Gets a block out here, cuts back upfield. He's going to be hit, wrapped up, close to the 44, 45-yard line. Tough couple of yards. Lead blocker there, number 31, Kaufman. Going to bring up a big 3rd down situation for the Horns.
Right. Credit Josh Clough for stringing that out so long and causing Tim to make a cutback for only about a 1.5 yard gain. After he come out of the pile, Josh Clough is kind of favoring his right side a little bit, like he's tender over there.
No, 5 number 23 brings it in. There's some confusion over here with Fife going in motion right. He gets set. going to be a handoff to Bunning, who gets the first down and more as Bunning runs hard. Tuck it, Timmy, inside the 50 to the 45. Pat, this is the hardest I've seen Timmy Bunning run this year.
Well, but he squared up his shoulders. You know, a couple of weeks ago we talked about him dancing a little bit. Now he's got his shoulders squared. He's going straight ahead. The one thing I noticed on that play was the offensive line from Payson moved Blue Ridge 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, and we talked about that earlier. They're going to have to do that consistently. They have to start getting pumped about their success.
Walden hands off to the fullback up the middle. Kaufman rolls for about 3 or 4 yards. Actually, that's 22. Excuse me. Cable Morris, the ball carrier on the play.
You know, and as this game goes on, Cable may play more and more of a key role on offense because Cable is an in-your-face, smash-mouth football player, and what this second half is going to turn into if Payson keeps going the way they're going.
And the ability to hit the hole very quickly, Pat. They start to key on Bunning. Morris may do a job as Bunning goes across the left side, across the 40, to about the 38, going to bring up again about 3rd and 4 for the Longhorns.
Well, right now, once again, we turn into the Hunter Walden show on this kind of yardage because Payson has shown the capacity to gain 4 yards on the run, but not consistently. So I look for Hunter to be key to this play, whatever it is.
But in the same situation last time, they gave it to Bunning,
and he
behind that lead block, who picked up 4 or 5 yards for the first down. Again, Walden takes it, fakes the pitch, tucks it in, heads upfield, breaks the tackle inside the 15 to about the 13, and you got a first down for the Horns. Hunter Walden does what Hunter Walden does best that time. Takes the pitch, cut it up.
I hate to say I told you so. That's all I'll say.
I love to hear you say I told you so. A big play of about 30 yards, 25, 30 yards for the Horns. Ball all the way down inside the 15 or the 14. Pat, the absence of Jason Carroll, number 85, who has not been in the ball game since midway in the second.
I'll talk about that in a second.
First and 10, handoff again to Bunny. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, no gain on the play. Again, this is where Blue Ridge got tough last time in the red zone.
Well, that time Tim got the line of scrimmage and tried to dance and find a hole, and they were on him because they pursued the ball so well. You know, you mentioned Jason Carroll. Jason was ejected in the first half and will not be back.
He was ejected.
He was ejected on a penalty called against him.
Okay.
And will not be back.
Second and 10 for the Horns. They've got to do what they do best. Number 12, Walden, needs to make something to happen. It's a little counter fake reverse. Walden's hit. A good open field tackle there. Picks up a maybe 2. Going to bring up a 3rd and 8. A good open field tackle by number 68, a linebacker for the Jackets.
Well, that's David Sheets, who's also their kicker and also plays offensive guard and is one of their star guys, and he'll bring it to you and he'll stick you.
Pat, a big play for the Longhorns. They need 6.
This is the Hunter Walden show.
Walden again rolls. He's under the rush. He throws, intended off the hands of number 44. Going to bring up a 4th and long. Ball will be at about the 12-yard line, so it'll be a field goal attempt by number 44, Josh Barnhart.
And I think that's an important thing right at this point of the game. Payson is down by 8 points, and this will close that gap. They need to get some points on the board. They've shown they can hold Blue Ridge. I think this is a very important field goal attempt for them at this stage of the game.
Payson did not get a good snap on their last field goal attempt. It's a good snap. The ball's down. It's up. It's deep enough. And it's good. So with 6:05 left in the 3rd period, Payson has come out, stopped Blue Ridge, taken the ball about 70 yards, or let's see, probably, where did they take over, Pat? Do you remember?
They took over on their own, I think it was 37-yard line.
So about a 50-yard drive, and then settled for 3.
And they did it on the ground.
You bet.
So, and that's an important thing because when you move the ball like that, what you're saying is we're controlling the line of scrimmage. On the opening drive for Blue Ridge, on the other hand, they gained no yards in 3 plays, and Payson again announced we're controlling the line of scrimmage.
And a drive like that, of course, keeps Jackson off the field. That's what you got to do.
Well, you got to keep defense anyhow.
You got to keep Blue Ridge. Got to keep Blue Ridge off the field offensively. Take the opportunities. It's now a 4-point game with 6:05 left in the third period.
Well, so far each team's had one possession in this half, and Payson has scored on theirs, and Blue Ridge failed to gain a yard on theirs.
Pam Walden, thanks for support of the Longhorn program, for the fine job you have done with son Hunter. You teach lots of our little kids good things, including tap, dance, ballet. And so call Pam, express your thanks as we kick this one off. It's going to be bobbled on about the 5-yard line, picked up, and knocked down at about the 20. So again, the special teams of the Longhorns doing a good job. Let me go back there and just say again, Pam, for the excellent teaching you do to kids 5 years and up in tap, jazz, ballet, tumbling for girls and boys. If you want to talk to Pam about that program, give her a call at 474-8634.
You know, once again, Denny, on defense for Payson, Eric Hilgendorf's in at left defensive tackle, Blair Rivers in the nose, Mike Barker's at that right defensive tackle. So we've got a little speed in there with Eric and Mike.
1st and 10 from the 21. Keeps it, rolls left, cuts it up. He's hit. Ball's on the ground.
Payson's ball. Payson's ball. Come on, call it.
It looks like to me it's going to be Blue Ridge ball. A lot of bodies around there.
Did that sound a little biased on my part?
Well, you know, listen, when you call it with your heart, steady your head, Pat, that's going to happen. But it looks like to me McClanahan is out of, knocked the wind out of him. And number 88, Josh Olson, goes in to take him out of the ball game, but one of them's got to move. And McClanahan comes off the field.
And he better hustle because Nate Jackson will pick up on him being on the field.
A pickup of 2. That should be an injury timeout. That's an official timeout to allow for McClanahan to come off the field. It looks like to me it's more of a win situation, Pat, as Jackson brings his troops out. 2nd and 8, 5:21 in the third quarter. Got 2 backs in.
This is the Nate Jackson show right here.
Jackson bobbles the ball. So again, Pat, the Longhorns come out, 3 and out for Blue Ridge. They come out, they're stuffed, they cause a fumble. They've had a couple of big hits. Jackson has a hard time with 3rd and 8. Critical situation right now again for the Horns to stop this. They'll have field position. Excellent.
Well, Nate Jackson's standing 2.5 feet away from 300-pound Blair River, who's been playing very aggressive nose guard tonight. Eventually, that's got to make you nervous.
So a big play as we have trips. Watch the screen pass. Jackson rolls out. He wants to throw. He's got a man. It's going to be overthrown. Pat, look again at number 24, Eric Hilgendorf, putting pressure on Jackson. That ball was 6 inches overthrown. That's all. Jody Wiley got his hands on it. I thought it was well overthrown, and all of a sudden there's a receiver there.
John Cedillo made a great effort at accelerating towards the ball once he saw it thrown, and actually got himself open by accelerating towards the sidelines and dove, and the ball went off his fingertips. Regardless, it puts Blue Ridge in their second punting situation in their second possession of the second half.
This is where the Horns got to make sure no mistakes. It's a good snap. It's off. If he would have taken the right angle, we would have had a block there because number 81, Lawrence, was past him by the time he ever punted. But it's good field position for the Horns. 1st and 10 on their own 41.
Ryan Lawrence is standing back on his 15-yard line, beating himself in the helmet. But you know, Ryan, that you made a good choice by not going after that because you didn't get the ball. If you hit that kicker, they retained possession with a 1st down. You forced him to rush. It's not a very good punt. So, Ryan, don't be down on yourself. You did a good job.
4:18 left in the third period as Hunter Walden, number 12, brings his backs out in the I formation. Hand off to Bunny, the tailback, who hits a little seam and rolls over the 50.
Cable Morris.
That's Cable Morris. Pat, that just shows with Kaufman, Bunning, and Morris, you're not sure who's going to be a fullback, who's going to be a tail. Cable Morris hit that hole the same way he ran in the second half last week in that big win.
And the one thing I'm seeing is a lot of hands on the hips for Blue Ridge. A lot of kids sucking air right now. Maybe Payson's going to wear them down a little bit here.
1st and 10 for the Horns. Hand off again to Morris, who bounces around the left side, who pounds into number 21. A pickup again of about 7 yards. Going to bring up a second and about 3.
Now, Chad Ashcroft, number 21, took on a blocker and kept his shoulder square. And Cable Morris sent a message there that I'm not going to dance. I'm going to run you over. If you want to tackle me, you better get in my face, because I'm coming after you.
What I want to see, Pat, is the first time that Morris has a chance to stick it on number 31, Robert David.
Well, he did that last year, didn't he?
What'll happen. There's a story that goes back a long time for that.
Illegal motion against Payson on that play. We didn't see the flag, Denny. But there was a flag thrown. They're calling illegal motion against Payson. So instead of being second and about 3, we're going to be first and 15. The ball's moved back to the Payson 48-yard line, and that's a mistake.
Well, it hurts when that's a 7-yard gain. Like you say, it ends up being a 12-yard loss. So it's going to be first and 10. Barnhart goes in motion left. Walden just keeps on the short side. He's hit and wrapped up. A good defensive play there by number 61, Brooks of Blue Ridge Jackets. And going to bring up a second and about 14. Pickup of a tough one on the play.
And we're in second and long, and just like second and long for Blue Ridge, it's the Nate Jackson show. It's the Hunter Walden show. Payson's on the left hash mark, basically, on the field. Look for them to try to use the wide side of the field. Walden is right-handed. He's got a lot of room to roll out there to either throw or option.
Still counter, fake. Intended out here for 22 Morris. Well covered on the play by number 4, Josh Clough. There wouldn't have been much there, Pat, if he would have hooked up. So it's going to bring up third and long for the Horns, who need to take advantage of this good field position, good drive. Again, very opportunistic, this Blue Ridge defense. Every mistake that Payson has made tonight, Blue Ridge is taking advantage of it.
Well, and the difference is Payson goes from being second and 3, where they can run the ball, to
first and 15.
First and 15, where now we've got to try something fancy, where we've got to throw the ball, and it eliminates a lot of options. Allows Blue Ridge to focus on a few things that Payson can do.
Still wants to throw out here. He's got a man all by himself. 87, Mark Bennett, who reaches up, takes the ball, Pat, where he needs to. He goes up. He doesn't wait for it. A good key third down and long for the Horns, and they're dominating the second half so far.
Well, I'm looking at the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, and now I see a lot of helmets down, hands on hips. But, you know, this hasn't happened to them very often, where they're sitting there looking at third and 15, and somebody makes it against their defense.
Hasn't happened to them in a long time.
That hasn't happened.
That's a tight end that gets behind that safety for that long reception. First and 10 for the Horn. Backs are in the eye.
Now we're back to being able to run the ball.
Off to Morris. Goes around the right side. Hit, knocked down, short of the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of 1. Blue Ridge by any means, Pat. They're not packing it in.
Well, you know, there's an old coach's saying that everybody teaches. I got taught this in high school. Was find a way to win. Take advantage of what the other guy gives you. Payson, again, is first and 10. Now we're second and 11. And it's not a mistake. It's just a positive play for Blue Ridge on defense. And now we're going to try to take advantage of that because it narrows down Payson's options, what they can run.
It also spreads the field a little bit. So the Horns in the eye need to take advantage of this red zone opportunity. There's a jump. That's going to get 5 yards. Going to make it a second and 6.
Don't call it yet.
No, it's an offside by Blue Ridge.
You think so, huh?
I think so.
Anything can happen in America. Hey, it is an offside. Yeah, nice call.
What you got here is a situation where the Horns have been effective in the red zone all year. They can't afford to get 3 points time after time down there. They have got to
score on this possession.
They've got to take the lead.
Nobody's come back on Blue Ridge in the second half all year.
Second and 7, and off tailback. He's hit in our backfield. There's a flag on the play at the line of scrimmage in the area of a hole, Pat. Again, let's wait and see what it is. But the Horns cannot afford any mistakes at this point in the ball game. They've got to keep this momentum.
You know, I noticed on a couple of passing plays that Mark Bennett off a delay from his position has been open in the middle of the field, and this is going to be a holding. So Payson's going to be marched back 10 yards, and you're kidding yourself if you think Blue Ridge is going to decline this penalty. They know Barnhart can kick from this distance, and they want to get Payson out of at least field goal range. They don't want this to be a one-point game. They're going to march Payson back. You may see something here that tries to take advantage of Mark Bennett's ability to get open in the middle of the field, even in this short field situation.
Well, Pat, they could run that corner off, throw a swing pass here too, try to get the ball outside in the flat.
That was a very effective play against Sholo a couple weeks ago with Josh Barnhart.
So again, now we're back to 2nd and 15. So the Horns shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here. Take a snap, and it is a throw out here. It's caught by Barnhart on that right flat. Boy, I tell you what, how Walden got that off with 2 guys on him, I don't know. But again, that's going to bring it back now where it's going to be about 3rd and about 8 rather than the long situation.
And we're still in a throwing situation here. Right now, the ball is more near the center of the field, and so it's about equal distance either side. But if there's any advantage, it's to the left side of the field, to our side that you're looking at.
Well, Pat, we had 2 guys in the backfield that time. The Horn line got to step up right now, give Walden a little more time. As we look, he's going to be hit. He breaks. Keep it, Hunter, and go, buddy. You got it.
Touchdown.
Well, Pat, we're seeing some overworked terms here. But what we really do have is a wonderful display of 2 very talented kids in number 15, Nate Jackson, number 12, Hunter Walden. Walden was hit in his backfield, shook off a tackle, looked downfield, it wasn't there, rambled in the end zone, and with 36 seconds left in this great 3rd period for the Longhorns, the Horns have taken a lead, 22-20, a very important extra point. It's down, it's up, and it's going to be wide left, Pat. That prize will be important later. That will be very important. And I want to, I just want to talk about a little bit of a situation here. This Blue Ridge team, maybe the one mental difference is their ability to focus. They take 2 special trips a year, one of which they go sometime to the California coast. There are times that 40 miles out of LA, they will be given a point to focus on the rearview mirror. They have to focus. At any time that one player on that bus is caught not focusing, they'll stop the bus, turn around, go 40 miles back, and their ability to concentrate and focus and be disciplined. That time I saw a player or 2 getting into the crowd instead of keeping our mind on the football game, and we've got to do that on every play. We cannot make a mental mistake.
And one of the things that happens is you learn how to look into a rearview mirror, but you learn how to play football after you've beaten somebody and they come back and take the lead when it's never happened to you before.
So it's a good kick by Barnhart again into the end zone, and a lot of confusion that time. Josh taking on a little of his frustration there, put that one in the end zone.
There's a lot of confusion there. The kick was fieldable. However, Robert David let it go by because he saw, I think it was number 5. I thought it was Charles Parkinson, but moving towards the ball, but it was like, I got it, you got it, I got it, you got it, and it went right between them into the end zone. And that's a lack of focus.
At 1st and 10 for the Jackets, they take over on their own 20. Jackson has no backs in behind him. Hands off to David, sweeping the right side. He's going to be hit over there, knocked down, maybe a 2-yard play, and you see a lot of good swarming over there by the Horns. Pick up of 2, maybe a short 3, going to bring up 2nd and 7.
I like what the Horns are doing. Blue Ridge is for the first time I've ever seen them become predictable. They're trying to run on 1st down and get 4, 5, 6 yards, so it doesn't have to be the Nate Jackson show. Payson, on the other hand, is shutting it down. And once again, we're in 2nd and long, and we're in the Nate Jackson show.
McClanahan is hurt again. Number 10, Kyle Conway, goes in. Not sure that McClanahan can get off. He does. He's got that bad knee. And we got officials raising their hands, indicating this barn burner has come to the end of the 3rd period, where the Longhorns have taken a narrow 22-20 lead over the Jackets. This hasn't happened often to this Blue Ridge team.
Dane, now as you look at these young people, remind yourself, and everybody at home, remind yourself, these are 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-old young men. They are within 12 minutes of the goal that they set, not in August, but when they were freshmen. And they have come a long way. Now we'll see how much they're willing to go for the last 12 minutes for these 22 seniors of their high school career.
Well, it's a true test, Pat, of digging down deep. These two teams can score. These two teams can play defense.
Sure.
Right now. I like what I'm seeing. Payson had a great third period. They two-platoon. They've got a couple guys, most of who run plays, going both ways. Blue Ridge plays a lot of guys, often 6, 7, 8 guys both ways. There's got to be a factor in that as this ball game goes on. We've put pressure on Jackson. We've stopped the run. This, again, another big drive.
And what you're going to see, I think, in this quarter is that both coaching staffs are going to put their absolute best athletes that they have available on the field.
Well, Pat, if there's an important factor, Payson hasn't really had a break. Blue Ridge has put the ball on the ground twice. They've gotten both of them. The Horns have thrown one pick. Let's see what happened. Jackson rolls back. He's under pressure. He's under big pressure. He runs out of it. The Horns have it. The Horns have it. Number 81, Ryan Lorenz. There's no doubt about this one. The Horns have the football on the 21-yard line, and they're going to take over 1st and 10. Pressure on Jackson.
Kyle Conway, number 10. Eric Hilgerdorf, number 24. Put some heat on Jackson after he broke out of the pocket. One of the two caused the fumble. Lorenz picks it up. Payson's 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line. And, folks, I'm going to try to get to all our sponsors, but I'm not going to guarantee it.
Well, Pat, that shows great athleticism on number 81, Lorenz. The football was laying right next to a Payson guy. Lorenz couldn't jump on it. He reached over, picked that thing up, and it's 1st and 10, horn ball. Morris, a tough yard or two over the right side, going to bring up about an 8-yard second down situation. The ball just inside the 20 with 11:35. This could be key, Pat, if the Horns can score. Not a field goal. If they can get 6 or 7,
an option right here.
Then it becomes a 2-score situation for a Blue Ridge team that hasn't been real effective in the second half offensively.
Field goal is not an option for Payson right here.
Walden hands off the left side to Morris, who breaks the tackle, rolls, and I tell you what, a good strong effort is now he got a bad spot, a terrible spot. He was up at about the 16-yard line. They're marking that back closer to the 18.
There's a Blue Ridge player
has a guy down. He's got another kid down on his knee. It's a pickup of a tough 4, but I think Morris was closer to the 15.
And I will tell you, there was a Blue Ridge player that hit that pile late to knock it backwards, and the injured player on the ground is injured as a result of his teammate piling into that thing a little late. Anyway, there's a timeout on the field, and they're taking care of the injured player. I want to remind you that if you have an injured transmission, you can count on the folks at Southwest Transmission to take care of your foreign and domestic cars. They're transmission specialists. They will take care of whatever your transmission needs is. If you need towed, they'll tow it for you. They have emergency service available, 24-hour towing. They're at 105 West Arrow Drive in Payson. You can give them a call at 474-8280 for your transmission needs.
Pat, I'm reaching, buddy, but you could have an injured toilet.
Yeah,
all of us have woken up in the middle of nights where those things are running, causing noise.
High-speed toilet blowouts.
You need to get down to Bud's Plumbing Electrical, see Jeff and Noah and Phil and Wayne and all the guys that are probably here at this ball game tonight supporting the Longhorns. They're a full-service store meeting all of your electrical and plumbing needs, and they've been a hometown dealer since 1979. So we want you to stop by and see their displays, their full Kohler display. They have a cabinet display down there. They do a lot of things. Go down and see them. Bud, we appreciate you, Jeff, you and all your guys down there.
They're still tending to the injured player, and in Payson, you'll find medical care available to you from some really super people at Arizona First Medical Center. They're Arizona's first choice in health care. They're here to serve your medical needs in Olive Rim country. They offer a wide range of primary and specialty services. New patients are welcome. You can see them at 803 South Ponderosa in Payson. You can call them at 474-6920 for OBGYN or pediatrics, or you can call them at 474-7455 for family and internal medicine. When you do call them, you'll bump into Dr. Bennett, Dr. Kendall, Dr. DeWitt, Dr. Kennerly, Dr. Likens, and their new associate, Dr. Anderson. Josh Clough was the injured player, and he's being assisted off the field by members of the coaching staff.
He's walking well, though, Pat. He's not in his leg.
I think he got
which is really key. Could have gotten hit in the back, as you say. And so we have maybe the biggest third down of the game, even though there's been some huge ones.
The biggest third down of the year right here.
This is 3rd and 5 for the Horns, inside the 20 again at about the 17. Walden has his backs in. He hands off to 22 Morris, who gets across the 15 to about the 14, where it's going to bring up a 4th and 3. Now, Pat, we got to think about this. I think the Horns got to go for it.
Well, I don't think a field goal is acceptable here because you have held them twice significantly. They haven't moved the ball at all against you. You have scored a touchdown in this against them in this half, and this will put it away. This will demoralize Blue Ridge.
Walden's going to keep it and takes it and goes inside. He's got it. 1st down and more.
Well, I'll tell you what. That was a well defense play. Let's let everybody guess if there was a score. Go ahead. I can't hear you, but go ahead. That's okay.
So Josh Barnhart to attempt the point after, and we'll be talking about this one with 10:03 left in the 4th period. It's a good snap. It's down. It's up. It's deep enough. And this one's good. And with 10:03 left in the 4th, the score is 29-20 in favor of the Longhorns. Now, Pat, listen.
I'm trying to listen, honest.
It's 3rd and 19. Arizona State's got the win. Brock Heward rolls back and throws, what was it, a 67-yard touchdown pass. Everybody in this stadium knew that Hunter Walden was going to handle the ball. Blue Ridge defended it well.
You're at special ed.
They played it well. They strung it out. Walden makes the great fake, cuts it up, lifts off a tackle, didn't get just a 1st down, shows great athleticism, rolls into the end zone, and Payson now has taken a 9-point lead. Now, that doesn't mean anything to a Blue Ridge team that's probably averaging 50 points a game. So the Horns have got to come out, play another 10 minutes and 3 seconds of good football. So far, Payson has owned Blue Ridge in this second half. They have. I like the adjustments that were made at halftime.
They have, and I think one of the unsung heroes so far in this half have been the line. Blue Ridge doesn't have a 1st down. Did they have any positive yards? I'm talking to the AP guy.
So Barnhart squibs one, fielded on about the 22. A little bit of dancing, a little bit of surge there at the last. Takes it across the 30 to 33. That's the first time that Blue Ridge has been across the 30 on a kickoff. Blue Ridge, as we mentioned a second ago, has not had a 1st down in the second half. That's exactly 14 minutes. I don't know that that's ever happened in the last 64 games to this Blue Ridge team.
It's going to be interesting right now to see what happens. Does Blue Ridge get aggressive here? Does Payson stay aggressive and play like what has gotten them here? Or does Payson start to play not to lose? Because if you play not to lose, you lose.
Jackson airs it out. The key is Payson's to lose right now, Pat. It's not a matter of what Blue Ridge does. They're going to do what they've done for a long time. Payson's going to have to keep the heat. They're going to have to come. Jackson throws, makes a nice reception, knocked out of bounds over there. But you got to be thinking, if you're the secondary, we can't go to a prevent. We can't let them catch everything underneath. They got great hands. They got good feet.
Well, if you let them catch everything underneath, you end up like what you have now. You have 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2. So, I think the key is here, let's stay aggressive, guys. That's what shut them down for 3 possessions. Let's pin our ears back. Let's go after this, Nate Jackson.
And keep the ball on the field.
If this is going to be the Nate Jackson show, he's got to beat all 11 of us.
So 2nd and about 2 for the Jackets. Jackson has a single set in. Again, he goes to his knees. That should be down.
The ball is down. That's how the referee.
That should be down when Jackson went to his knees, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 4.
I do believe that official is Jim Watson, by the way.
Jackson has put the ball on the ground 3 times in the second half. He has stumbled another time. Either there's something happening on that line of scrimmage, or he's getting tired, but that's a big play. Loss of 1, 3rd and about 3. Watch Jackson to bring it to the right side of the field.
I think Ryver's doing a great job of putting a lot of pressure on their center.
Handoff inside. He gets the first down as he rolls across the left side. Wrapped up over there by number 73, Mike Barker.
You know, and I saw a couple of things that I didn't like that time from Payson. I saw two of our players reaching in trying to strip the ball. And my point of view with 9:34 left in the game is that we don't need to strip the ball. We're winning. We need to put our face in this guy's chest and knock him down and run through him and make them earn this. We don't want to try to strip the ball and have them get positive yards while we're tugging at the football.
No cheap scores. Got to make them go 70 yards. Got to keep them scoring quick. Blue Ridge has found an opportunity in every single state game for the last 3 years to come from behind, Pat. They have done that against superior football teams. Arizona Boys Ranch has just put a whopping on them. Blue Ridge has found a way to win. Payson's got to stay focused.
They do, and they need to score at least one more time. Okay, Denny, here we go. We're going to adjust this mic. How's that, better?
Oh, yeah, I like it when I can hear you.
You know, Denny, I'd like to remind everybody that they can buy a brick, a tile, or a granite block and help build the Payson Multi-Event Center. Your brick will be placed into the main entrance to be called the Payson Gateway. And if you wonder where this is at, folks, it's on the south end of town, right by the casino. You'll see all the construction going on the beeline there. You can get your order forms to buy your brick, tile, or granite block at the Payson Roundup, the Backbone, the Chamber of Commerce, or you can buy Barry Cardinal at 472-9022.
So, Pat, that's the first down, as we mentioned, for the Yellow Jackets as they're at the 40-yard line, their own. 1st and 10. Jackson wants to throw, drops back. He's got a rush, throws out here. He's got a man wide open who can't hang on to the ball. But again, he has a man open. Jackson puts it where he's supposed to. That could have been a 25-yard reception.
You know, the two receivers ran into a deep zone pattern along Tim Bunting's corner, and Bunting and Brian Court didn't seem to be too sure of who they were supposed to cover out there. Fortunately, the ball was dropped.
2nd and 10. Jackson again has his one back. His 3 men out wide left. He is under the big rush, and he dumps it away.
It's caught.
Pat, that's just wonderful football. Great. Jimbo Armstrong puts a huge rush, puts Jackson on his back. The ball goes up. A great catch. You got a man down, and it's a Payson man down on the far side. Well, great pressure on Jackson. Jackson makes something happen, which is something he is capable of doing.
That may be Jeremy Hoff out there. I'm not sure. I'm looking at numbers on the field.
Hoff is on the field. He's back there at the 43-yard line.
See, do you see Ryan Lawrence on the field anywhere?
Pat, this could be huge. Already, the Horn secondary is depleted with number 85, Jason Carroll out.
Jimmy Conyers is out.
You've got Jimmy Conyers out, who have been two of our starters back there. And you've got Coach Beal coming back across the field. Not sure if he's looking for medical attention or not, but it is 81 Lorenz. He is up on his feet.
And he's running off the field under his own power.
That's key, Pat. That's very key.
That's huge.
We'll bring up a 3rd and about a long 3 for the Jackets. The ball just inside Longhorn territory at about the 48-yard line.
You know, I like the aggressiveness of that call.
Now that he's here, though, he's dragging, he can hardly walk. It's his left ankle or knee, which is big. Cable Morris, number 22, goes in at a linebacker position. We still have 31, Kaufman, available. Little hit straight ahead.
Didn't get it.
Short. Going to have a good 4th and about 2 or 3 as the ball comes out. But after the play's been whistled dead, number 24, number 56, River Hilgendorf.
You know, and what a surprise this must be to the Blue Ridge kids, because all year long, you're 3rd and 2. Hey, you hand it to Robert, and he gets you the first down, no problem. And all of a sudden, Robert doesn't get you that first down. It's got to be a bit of a surprise.
Now, what are you going to do here? 4th and 2, you're going to go for it. Where are you going to go with it?
I'm going with Nate Jackson. I'm going to roll him out.
I'm going to go with number 6, Boza, who's in the ball game. Gets the handoff off the right side, rolls out for the first dime.
You did it. Well, I told you so.
Boza just ran really hard the last couple of games I've watched him, and, you know, David does not run in traffic. The Horns are dominating the line of scrimmage right now. Votes is a bigger back, a stronger back. A big first down is that takes the ball inside the 40 with 8:21. Too much time left on this clock. Blue Ridge hanging on to the ball, continuing to pump out a couple of first downs as that clock should have started rolling. It did.
It's rolling, and we're down to almost 8 minutes.
Jackson wants to keep it. He rolls out. He looks down the field.
Guys open
the rush. Number 53, 73, Mike Parker, showing great feet. Loss of about 8. And you got to like what the Horns are doing. And while everybody's saying what's happening, the clock is running. The clock is running. And next play will get it down under 7 minutes. That's just a ton of time. Time is not an issue right now. Right now, it's just got to be a matter of the Horns staying focused, continuing to play good defense.
That was a huge sack, and Coach Perch, if you're listening, that was also a great 2-point takedown for Mike Barker.
So second and about 17 for Blue Ridge. Jackson again wants to throw, drops back, looks, he's down.
You know, that's a very dangerous thing that Blue Ridge just did. What happened, folks, was Jackson went back on a straight drop back to pass, lost his footing, slipped and fell at the 40, his own 45-yard line. He got up to continue to play like he was playing pros, and Blue Ridge just leveled him. That's a late hit.
Blair's been watching too much TV.
Sundays.
But he didn't hit him on the ground. He grabbed him with his arm. He let go. It wasn't a matter, nobody went in with a helmet. And the officials will let him play, Pat. So it's third and about 25, which is a huge situation, one that Jackson has shown the ability. Again, there's a rush. It's a short screen. He's hit.
And he's open in the field.
And he is tackled. It's going to bring up about a 4th and 17, but Ryder is just having a field day on their center, and he has done a wonderful job, and that's going to bring up a 4th and about 17, 18. Interesting to see what Blue Ridge is going to do.
You know, there's 6 minutes left in the game. Blue Ridge has held Payson in the first half. Not real well in the second, but in the first half, they're going to punt, but I don't know if I would. I think that they've got a big enough offense to go for it.
Well,
maybe we can look for a fake here.
Remember, he's their scat back.
That's right.
He is a better runner. He's a better runner than he is a punter. David kicks it,
and he barely got that Ryder
by number 12. And he did exactly what he's in there to do. And with 5:43, the Horns have the ball on their own 16, and they got to hang on to the ball, pick up 2 or 3 first downs, Pat. That's key. Run this one out. Be state champs.
Well, what's the key right now is Payson has 3 timeouts left, I believe. Blue Ridge has 2 left. They took one earlier. Nate Jackson called one on offense. And so Payson needs to actually take this down the field more than a couple first downs to get this clock rolling. I'd like to see him go down and score.
Well, what's key, Pat, I'd love to see him score. What I don't want to see him happen is turn the ball over. Blue Ridge has to have 2 scores to win this ball game. The Horns are in control. They've got to keep the ball. Bunting breaks off the right side. There's the flag down. Bunting's going to be run out across the 43. It's going to come back, and that's going to be a 10-yard holding situation. And you got to love it.
Number 9, Blake Wallings from Blue Ridge is down on the field with a cramp in his leg, or is it 19?
And Cable and Hunter Walden is over there, number 19.
Number 19 is Garrett Schilleman.
No, actually, it may be 15. It may be Nate Jackson.
He's got a cramp, whoever the Blue Ridge kid is, and Hunter Walden goes over there and starts helping get the cramp out of his leg. They're talking to Blue Ridge right now on this flag that was thrown at the 15-yard line. It's thrown in the area of either a bad block or a hold. Even though Bunting did get outside and gain about 25 yards on the play, it's definitely coming back. Nobody seems to be interested in marking the ball up here at the 40, so I know it's coming back.
It's going to be half the distance to the goal, which is going to be big in terms of field position. But again, the Horns are playing a team right now. They're beating up, Pat. They're dominating them up front. They're fresher. There hadn't been anything that Blue Ridge has been able to do other than 2 first downs in the whole second half. And the Horns got to hang on to the football. They got to stay on the playing field. They got to just keep playing smash mouth football.
I think you're right, Denny. Denny, I want to thank Tom Waldron and his family for their sponsorship of Longhorn football all season long. Not only did they become a sponsor with Channel 6, but Tom has been here every single game on his camera filming these kids, been involved in the program. His son Chase plays in the program. You know, and they say it with flowers, and Tom, I say thanks. E&J Forest has been a family-owned and operated business for over 30 years. In the Payson area, not only can you get all your flower needs served by them, but they also rent tuxedos. Give Tom and E&J Florist a call at 474-4190. Get all your flower needs, or just call Tom and say, hey, Tom, thanks for what you did to the kids. All year long, you supported all these kids.
No. You're fine. Pat, it's, you know, you hate to see any kid down. This one looks to be, in all probability, just a good, solid case of exhaustion. This kid has just given it on both sides of the ball. He has been on special teams.
It is.
He has been a quarterback. He has been on defense. He has done it all. And a big hand there for Nate Jackson. But it's just great to see no injury. You like to see these kids leave it on the field at the end of a state championship game.
Yeah.
These teams are doing that
tonight. These teams are leaving on the field. When you get done with this game tonight, nobody's going to walk away and say, oh, it was luck. The best team will have won this game. No matter how it comes out, the way these two teams are playing, there's 100% football going on in that field. There is no luck involved in this.
Pat, I'm going to talk about something in a minute. It's 1st and 10, 1st and actually 20. It's a handoff to Bunning around the left side, who is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage and thrown for a loss, which is going to bring up now a 2nd and about 23.
It's 2nd and Hunter Walden's show.
Well, I'm not sure it is. I think what's going to happen is...
His field position is not acceptable, Daddy.
It's not acceptable, and obviously, you know, we can do something with Walden, but right now, we talked about the clock not being an issue. It's under 5 minutes as this ball gets snapped off. Right now, we got at least 2 more plays. That's another minute. That's 4 minutes. The key will be not turning over the football, getting a good punt off, and it's a handoff inside, and a good carry by Morris or Bunning up the middle across the 15, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. And more importantly, the clock runs, and as I mentioned, we'll get this one down under 4 minutes. Last year, 2 snaps, 2 opportunities for score. What's key right now is not that Payson scores, it's that Payson doesn't make any mistakes, and they're going to win this football game. So 3rd and about 11 for the Horns.
This can't work.
Walden going to keep it, going to turn it up. He's going to be hit, takes it across the 20, picks up about 6. More importantly, it's going to bring up a 4th down, a punting situation for the Horns, but it's also going to take the ball down, the clock down to close to 3.5 minutes. Payson's got to get this punt off.
Yeah, the ball's on the 21-yard line. Josh Barnhart's going to be in the punt. He's going to be standing somewhere down around the 7 or 8-yard line to kick the ball. And even with an excellent Josh Barnhart kick, Blue Ridge is going to have good field position with about 3.5 minutes left in the game. Good snap.
The kick is off. It's a low liner. Going to be fielded on about the 45.
There's a block in the back without a call.
Oh, and Cable Morris, look at this. Cable Morris just got blindsided. The kid is peeling himself off the field, and Morris pops up like a jack-in-the-box, which shows something I want every Payson football player to hear. Guys, you have shown yourself to be a dominant team. Get your fannies in the weight room, work hard in the offseason. You'll see this happen again. That's what strength will do for you.
Well, that's what it does for Cable. Is Jeff Brown put a big hit on him, and Jeff was the recipient of all the pain of that hit because he was not the stronger kid of the 2 involved.
1st and 10 for the Jackets. Jackson going to be lighting it up, Pat, with this last 3.5 minutes.
It's the Nate Jackson show.
Jackson drops back. He looks. He's under a rush. He throws. He's got a receiver out there, and he's going to be hit and tackled inside the 30, but it's going to be a big 1st down at 18-yard gain. And we don't want any guys down on the field because that clock, we want it to reset and run with 3:17 left in this ball game.
You know, I don't know what the coaches are thinking of right now. If we say, okay, let's make them chew up clock. If they score, they do great. Let's make them chew up clock. I think we don't let them score. We go after Nate Jackson.
Well, absolutely. 1st and 10. Jackson rolls right. McClanahan the backside. Throw complete. Inside the 15 at about the 12. Clough on the reception. Tackle there by number 81, Lorenz, and number 21, Cork. But that's going to bring up another first down. And every time there's a first down, the clock stops. Opportunistic Blue Ridge, never out of a ball game. 3:02 in counting.
They don't even know the score right now.
No huddle. They're getting off lots of plays. Need a big rush. Jackson again will roll out. He sets. He's under the rush. He's hit. And number 73, Mike Barker, who is one of the kids that can grab you by the arm at 220 pounds, a state champion in wrestling, and put Jackson on his back. And what a big call, a big hit, as Blue Ridge calls timeout with 2:34 left in counting.
And they only have one timeout left, Denny, and I'll tell you, to emphasize the point you just made, is that for you youngsters out there that watch this on TV tomorrow, Mike Barker grabbed Nate Jackson with one arm, spun him around, threw him down on the ground, and that is what I call a weight room sack. Mike Barker did that because of his superior strength more than any other thing. He used his strength to beat the blocker, and then he used his strength one-handed to pull down Jackson for about a 12-yard loss or so. So Blue Ridge, or 10-yard loss. Blue Ridge is going to be coming out of their timeout with 2:34 left in the state championship football game. Payson has the lead 29-20. The ball is sitting right on the 20-yard line of Payson. Blue Ridge has second down and about 19. The ball's on the 22. Nate Jackson's got one back in the backfield, Robert David. Jackson takes the snap. He pitches to David left. He's reversed back to the right. The ball's thrown left now. The ball's in the end zone. Picked off. Folks, I'll describe this trick play to you. Let me back up on a trick play. Payson intercepts Jeremy Hoff for his 8th interception of the year in the end zone. Nate Jackson took the snap. He pitched the ball to Robert David going right. Robert David handed the ball to number 21, I think it was, Chad Ashcroft coming back left. Ashcroft took the handoff, threw a lateral to the left to Nate Jackson, who then lofted the ball into the end zone in the left corner, and the ball was intercepted by Jeremy Hoff. Now there's a flag on the play. They're calling a illegal participation on Blue Ridge. The penalty is declined. Is there offsetting penalties? Blue Ridge is maintaining possession after the interception on offsetting penalties. Big play for Blue Ridge. They now have third down and 19 from the 22. Jackson's back to pass, rolls out to the right. Big rush that time. Ball's thrown in the corner of the end zone. It is caught short of the goal line. And intercepted again. I'm sorry, it is caught. But it's caught this time by Jeremy Hoff on the 2-yard line. Payson takes over with 2:18. And as each second comes off the clock, this highly touted 64-game winning streak becomes more and more in jeopardy. Now, this is important, folks. Payson's got 1st and 10. They're on the 2-yard line. A sack of the quarterback or a 2-yard loss by a runner is a safety, which puts Blue Ridge back in striking distance, and they would get the ball back. Very important. Payson gets positive yards on this play. Hunter Morris takes the Cable Walden. I'm sorry. You got me too excited now. I'm going to take a deep breath. Denny's gone down on the field. Hunter Walden takes the snap on a quarterback sneak, and he moves the ball out to about the, looks like it's going to be on about the 6-yard line or so. I'm not sure. Blue Ridge takes their final timeout of the game. Payson's going to have Actually, Hunter picked up about 4 yards on that, so the ball is going to be on the 6. Payson's going to have 2nd and 6. Walden, quarterback sneak. The AP guy just asked me who carried the ball. So I was telling him Walden did. Folks, there's 2:09 left in the game. If you're not on the edge of your seat right now, you're brain dead. There's something wrong with your heart. You're not excited about kids. You're not excited about community. The stadium here at Riggs Field at Mesa Community College, the home field side probably sits near 2,000 people, and it's standing room only from Payson. It's standing room only from Blue Ridge. There's going to be happy people and sad people here tonight. Hunter Walden takes the carry again on the quarterback sneak and actually picks up about 3 more yards, and we're going to look at about a 3rd and 2 for Payson, as Payson now decides it's time for ball control. We're not so interested in anything else than running time off the clock. Payson is inside 2 minutes, enjoys a 9-point lead. Blue Ridge, I believe, is out of timeouts so far. They've used 3 this half that I recall. Payson is looking at now, not 3rd and 3, but about 3rd and 1. Hunter Walden is coming up under center. He sneaks it again. He's going to get the first down. Blue Ridge has no way to stop the clock. Payson will run out the clock with 1:25 left in the game. The clock does stop for the first down, but that'll be the last time that the clock stops for the Payson Longhorns. Folks, what you've seen this year is the Payson Longhorns march the season, do all the things they have to do to win. The coaches say, find a way to win, find a way to win. Tonight, Payson has found a way to win, and they found it by digging and scratching and playing tough football. We're under 1 minute to play, folks. Walden takes the snap, falls forward. Blue Ridge cannot stop the clock. Denny Morris is going to be down on the field to do a post-game interview. Folks, I want to tell you, it's 50 seconds left in the game. I just want you to listen to this crowd. There's confetti flying. People are on their feet. Horns are going off. The crowd is football smart. They know this game is over. There's 30 seconds left in the game. Payson does not have to take another snap. The football game is over. Coaches are holding back the players to keep them off the field. The Blue Ridge players are walking off the field. The Payson players are staying on the field. And let me count this for you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Folks, your 1998 Class 3A Payson Longhorns State Champion Football Team. I can't tell you how I feel. Listen to the crowd, how they feel. Folks, before I go any further, I want to credit Coach Morrow and the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets. They have lined up at the middle of the field to congratulate the winners. This is an extreme display of incredible emotional control by both teams and of great sportsmanship by both teams. You know, I would like to thank the coaching staff who's cooperated with this TV station all year long and giving us interviews and information and all the things they've done to make Denny and I look like we know what we're talking about. Right now, I sit here looking at the clock. You know, they just took the score off the clock. Folks, final score, Payson 29, Blue Ridge 20. Your Longhorns are state champions on this wild and crazy night in Mesa, Arizona. I'm going to turn this over to Denny for a post-game interview. I can't talk anymore. I'm not going to have control of my emotions. Folks, thanks for being with us all year long. Thanks for putting up with us. We hope you'll continue your support of all Longhorn sports the rest of this season.
appreciation to all the fans. He said it's a team deal. He said, you know, some people get all the exposure. This is about family. This is about team. Jim Beal has led his Horns to a task that no one thought they could do. 13-0. They will be number one. They are the state champs, and they've done it as a team. We had several guys go out tonight. We had kids playing positions that we didn't think, you know, we'd have to. They came out of the locker room. They did a wonderful job in the second half, shutting down Blue Ridge, winning a football game. So incredible victory as they continue to celebrate this victory. Fans, we appreciate you. We love your support. Thousands are here tonight to watch the Horns. Larry Sheehan, Channel 6 TV, thank you for the job you have done for all the Horns.
Seasons, the no-win season about 3 years ago or so, a 3-6 season, and then coming to this point, it's been a long battle for you guys. How have you dealt with some of those in the past? Coach Bill's done an excellent job. Everything that we've done in the past, all our times, we have just made us stronger. Tonight, when we just came out and just played and one thing I think you guys did well is you took Blue Ridge out of the game physically. You basically beat them at their own game. Right? How tough they were.